So there was actually this clip with this journalist. As I mentioned on the show earlier this week, they were doing this memorial service and everything for George Floyd because it's been a year since the incident took place of his death. And as this news anchor is literally standing right there on the same, I think, corner where it all took place, reporting on what people were doing in memorial to George Floyd, he starts hearing some shots being fired.
Well, look, it's not going to be signed in time, at least according to the timeline that the White House and US President Joe Biden had. They wanted this bill of comprehensive police reform to be... Just got to be careful here with some gunshots. Excuse us. It sounds like gunshots. I'll let you know what this is. These seem to be gunshots.
Get down!
Shit, where is that?
We're okay.
We're just gonna go.
So first of all, what is kind of crazy about this clip is that as soon as he hears the shots being fired, the guy just tries to pretend like he's not freaking out. I mean, if that was me, I would be out of there. I'd be running away. Like, I'm not standing here waiting to see what shakes out. These people are crazy. There was actually over 30 shots fired in that minute. Just 60 seconds. More than 30 shots fired back to back to back. And you could see cars going through and around the streets trying to doing whatever they were doing with these drive-bys. I mean, this is crazy. This was on the anniversary, by the way, of George Floyd. I mean, is this how you commemorate him? That you just commit all of these crimes? Is that to say and kind of commemorate the fact that George Floyd was a criminal too? These people in this community could care less about not behaving or could care less about behaving correctly. They don't care. They can't quit it for one day. And if a cop were to figure out who these people were and shoot him because they were trying to shoot some other guy, they would have been doing the same thing. Oh, look at these people. Look at these people. You know what? Leave them alone. That was my kind of thought process before, and it still is the case now. Leave them alone. Let them go ahead and do it. Let them keep shooting each other because eventually at some point, somebody's going to say, all right, we need to bring in an actual police force that's going to do something about this. Because they need to realize that this is a problem. These crime-ridden areas are, when you start defunding the police and when you start pulling the police out or keeping the police but making it so that they are unable to do their jobs properly because they're trying to get rid of qualified immunity like I've spoken about or something like that, what winds up taking place is crime goes up. The criminals aren't that stupid. They know that, they see it, and they say, hey, these cop guys only have tasers now. They took away their guns. Let's do whatever we want to do. Now we've got the guns. It shouldn't be that way, but it is, unfortunately. And that's the big problem with trying to demonize and defund the police. Now, don't get this twisted for any second here. This rise in crime gives a really bad look, really, to Democrats. If people are actually paying attention to this, and I hope that they do. So, this rise in violent crime across the country could actually hurt Democrats in 2022 when we're looking at the midterm elections. So, a few more reports here. Homicides in cities increased by up to 40% over the previous year, the biggest single-year increase since 1960, a trend that has not abated so far in 2021. 63 of the 66 largest police jurisdictions saw a rise in at least one category of violent crime, ranging from homicide and rape to robbery and assault, according to the Major Cities Chiefs Association. Homicides and shootings have gone up for 3 straight years in Washington, D.C., and at least a dozen mass shootings were reported nationwide over the weekend. So what we're seeing here is a massive increase. On a city-by-city level, we're looking at Philadelphia, 40% increase. New York City, 22%. Chicago, 22%. Los Angeles, 27%. Washington, D.C., 35%. Portland, 80%. Minneapolis, 56%. And Democrats still want to defund the police? I mean, this is what they have now, and it's already going up. Just because they are devaluing what they can do, just trying to take away tools from what they can actually do. And this is what you're already seeing. So really ridiculous there. It could hurt them. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I really think that it will if people are actually paying attention to this. Because all of this violence is going to cause for people to start leaving these states if they're paying attention to what's going on, which soon it's going to come to their door. It's going to come knocking, where you're going to have situations where people are like, look, this place is dangerous. I need to go to a place with actual police. And they're going to look at coming to Florida. They're going to look at going to Texas possibly. And they're going to be trying to get out of there. And hopefully people realize, hey, if we want some civility to actually have police do their job, we're going to have to vote people in that aren't trying to get rid of them. That's what this is going to come down to, ultimately. I don't think that the elites, the politicians that have their own security detail really have much of a stake in the matter. Because it doesn't matter whether they defund the police for them. The Lori Lightfoots and all of them, they have their own security detail surrounding their house 24/7, paid for on staff, private security. They don't need the police in the sense that a normal person in the city does, that is defenseless and doesn't have their own private security detail. So that's where the big divide comes into play here. You just watched a clip from the William Hall Show. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe.